What's going on, everybody? It's Nate, your vintage roller, and I am back after a hiatus away from YouTube and making content. Uh, while family life and work have kept me away from YouTube and creating content, it has not kept me away from working with Murder Militia, my company, as well as getting some skate time in on skates. And I'm here to fill you in on, well, the last skate that I got to unbox. The Lava 755. I don't know if you want to call them tan or mauve or gray or whatever what color you want to call them. But this is the last skate that I got to unbox with y'all, and this is a skate that I've been skating pretty much since I came back from my shoulder surgery. I'd like to give a shout out right now to Death Squad Blading for the really cool hat that I got, uh, as well as the skate company for the awesome green jersey that they've recently released with the H block on it. Check out Death Squad Blading and check out the skate company. But let's get into this skate right here. So, when I received this skate last year, shortly before my shoulder surgery, I was able to do an unboxing of it and was really excited that Eric from Lava sent them to me to do a review with an unbiased opinion. And I'm glad to say that I'm able to come back now after quite a few sessions on these skates and be able to give you a better idea of what these skates feel like, what they're capable of, and where some people may have problems. So, um, overall, you can look at the skate right now and see that there's been some changes made to it from originally the unboxing. I've changed the wheels out, I've changed the liner and the laces, and that's about it. And overall, that was more from personal bias and personal preference in skates. Um, but I will say that this skate stock with the lava wheels that come with it and the lava liners, for the prices you're going to pay for it, before shipping and tariffs, at right around 100 is like 165 to 170 American, uh, is well worth the price that you're going to get for an entry level rollerblade. Over the time that I skated these in the last couple months, I skated them completely stock, and then I skated them with the current setup that I have right now that I'll go over with you, and have found that I am enjoying this setup here. Uh, Even though I enjoyed the stock setup, this setup is a little more comfortable for me because I've tailored it to myself. And that's the wonderful thing about rollerblading. You can take the time and get a boot, try it out, and then start to work on it and blend it into your personal styles and comforts and stuff like that. And eventually make the skate your own to where you're comfortable skating in. And that's where we're at right now. So we're going to go ahead and start with the bad stuff first. And then we're going to go ahead and finish on positives. So overall, the only two negatives that I can take away from this skate right now, well, three. I'll say there's three actual negatives in this skate that I found in the course of the skates, my time skating this. Um, One, uh, the footbed. One thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put a footbed in this to make it a little bit more comfortable in riding. I started working on that process initially by putting a Flebo spacer in. Shout out Flebo for their frame spacers. It definitely made a difference in transferring energy from my foot to the ground and reducing impacts. So, an overall ride experience. So, that's something you might want to look into if you're feeling a rougher ride. Flebo's got frame spacers. Just take your time, work through it. If it's not something that you're comfortable with, you know, putting an extra millimeter or two between your frame bolt and your frame. There's a lot of speculation on whether it puts too much pressure on the frame bolts and you're going to sap your frame bolts. Some people don't have that issue. It all depends on how you ride. But that's for a story for a different time. So I think a thicker footbed in this would be better. The main thing that I want to point out is the liner. I changed the stock liner out of these skates into the Aaron Feinberg MyFit liner, simply because the stock liners were not the greatest liner. Again, it is an entry level liner, it's an entry level skate. And while I have talked with Lava Skates over the course of the last year, talking about liners and this skate and generally, and giving my thoughts and views on the skate, they've changed some things. Mind you, this is the V1 version of this skate, so they're progressing. The Steven Swains that have come out, those are the V2. The white V2s are coming out, and we'll dive into that another time. But the liner itself, that was one thing that I definitely had to change because I just wasn't feeling that liner. It wasn't where I wanted it to be. But again, for an entry level skate, it's a good liner. Traveling the rest of the way on the boot. So issue one, comfort of the footbed. I alleviated that again by changing the liner out and making it a little more comfortable, and adding the Flebo frame spacer into it. Uh, issue number two was the liner. Issue number three, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it is something that I want to try to change, and something I may try to tinker with here in the near future with something, is the 45 degree strap. And while the ratchet style buckle 45 degree strap like this is a great system if you're doing power blading or you're doing recreational blading it, big wheels, something like that. It's going to maintain the stability of support around your ankle and your foot that you're going to want to make sure you lock your heel into place. And a lot of people like locking their heel into place doing aggressive. The one thing I'll say is it does kind of get in the way when you're doing aggressive and you're going to break your buckle. I've heard of it happening and seen it happen with a couple of people that are skating these aggressive. And I know that you can change them out to USD buckles. Kiko Bagoda, shout out Jacob Selvey out there at Kikoa for creating 45 degree straps and cuff buckles, cuff straps for these skates. You can always change it out. So there's that option there. And I just haven't done it yet because I want to give these things the full fair shake and beat them up until, I don't want to beat them up anymore. So that's the three big major things. The only other major thing I think of is when it comes to the upper cut, like the upper shell of the boot, the 45 degree strap, the actual buckle itself, and whatnot, even the cuff bolts, they have a tendency to come loose. So you have to tighten them up every couple sessions, and it's not. If you're doing regular skate maintenance, it's something you're going to keep up with. It's something you're going to notice, and heck, you may even be able to fix it with just a itty bitty blue drop of Loctite and call it a day. So it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's definitely something that I've noticed in the course of skating these over the last couple months. So let's get into the positives of the skate. Oh, sorry. Nope, not yet. There is one more negative, and it's, again, it's a personal preference. It's a personal bias. The height on the side of these skates is very high to me. I'm so used to razors or USD carbons or even REMs because of the way the cuffs are. These cuffs are very rigid for cuffs as a whole, and they're very high. And that's one of the things that I noticed, and it's taking me a lot of getting used to get down into royales and even try to start relearning top size and how to bend my knees and ankles in order to get the skate to do what I want it to do. So I would say the only other negative I found, and again, this is a personal negative, is how high the cuff is on the sides and how rigid it is. The actual shell itself is very pliable for the most part. It does have a good flex to it. You'll find that if you're leaning forward, you're going to get a good flex, at the front where you're where the 45 degree strap's at. If you're landing, it's going to actually spread out and help you control your foot and give you a better, let your foot expand like it's supposed to and give you a broader base. But the cuff itself, it's just, to me, needs a little bit of work. And I don't know if that's something that they're fixing in the near future. Again, I have talked to Eric and them over at Lava over the course of the year and giving them my input and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's it. So 5 negative things that I found on this boot. Positive things. Let's get into that. Number one, we're just going to go with overall looks. I like the look of this skate. It's got a wider profile to it. So when you're looking down at it, it gives you the wider tennis shoe look on it. So you're looking down, you're like, oh, cool. You know, it looks like I'm wearing a pair of sneaks. That's cool. Um, I actually happen to like that. I like the rubberized toe on it. Helps if you kick something, you don't jump high enough, or something. It actually absorbs some shock pretty well, and I really, really dig that because I beat up my toes pretty bad. Uh, Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. Other than cosmetics and stuff like that, this skate is fast, and I mean, it's got to be top 5 fastest skates I've ever skated. When it comes to grinds, whether it's soul grinds or anything in H rocks grooves, it is crazy how fast these things are. Now I know Angled Souls has dropped their stuff out there. Shout out Angled Souls for creating Angled Souls for these. Um, I personally like the flatter sole, just because that's my style of skating, and I'm not really the greatest skater in the world, so I'm not gonna go out and skate some of the things these guys are skating where they're gonna need angled soles. The flat sole in this is perfect for beginners. It's fast enough to where you don't have to worry about it. Even if you just lightly wax your sole, if you're at a skate park and everybody's messing, talking about, oh, don't wax this, don't wax that, just wax your sole. You're gonna go fast. The H block in this is so wide. This skate is the very first skate that I've ever actually been able to do a fast slide in, and it's crazy because I constantly skate the ground control Gen 2s, which notoriously have a very wide H block in them. Um, the H block in this, in the groove, is wider than that, and I was actually able to lock onto a very angled ledge and do a backside fast slide in these and control it and hold it for the first time in my life. So that's definitely a perk. Um, so that's just overall aesthetics of it. Like they're both very fast. The way the actual groove and your H block and your backside groove line up and feels amazing. I never thought I'd like going back to. I'd say I'm a Colt skater at heart, and while the Colts initially came with the super flat backslide plate, um, I personally preferred the Colt backslide plate that came on the original Shimas, which has been on Colts since then. Um, and I like the way that feels. They may have even dated back to the Levanuses. I'm not sure, but this is very super flat esque when it comes to the way it's kind of got an angle and a curve on it. Um, so you're not going to hold a traditional like flat royal. You're going to be kind of off to the side and actually feels a little more natural on the ankle. So overall, grind wise, these skates are phenomenal, especially for a beginner, even into advanced. Um, if you got any questions on what these skates can do for advanced skaters, there's plenty of guys out there skating them. Carlos Bowman, who rides for me, Craig Parsons rides for me, the French brothers, Sasha Sims is on set. You've got a whole bunch of people all across the world that are skating these. Steven Swain got a pro boot recently, and he's out of the UK, and he's just doing marvelous things on these. Richard Vasquez. So just you want to see what people can do in these skates that have just an amazing trick vocabulary. Go check them out on Instagram. Um, Other than that, the skate itself is solid. Haven't really had any other issues with them, so that's that's where we're at. I mean, there's every skate's gonna have its negatives. Every skate's gonna have its positives. The thing is are you willing to deal with the negatives and try to overcome them, or are you gonna just try to keep buying boots to find the perfect boot? I'm from the old school where I like creating different setups and tinkering with my skates to find out if I can make the skate work for me, and that's what I did. So this setup right here is doing me well and is very comfortable, and that is with the Murder Militia Totally Rad wheels, Flebo frame spacer, stock frame and sole plate, an Aaron Feinberg My Fit liner out of his Aeons, the Avenue wax laces, and that's it. That's the only thing I've changed in the skate. is laces, liner, and wheels, and added a frame spacer. And I really enjoy them. It's every skate's going to take time to learn. Every skate's going to take time to work in to find out if you're going to be able to make it your own. You just got to give the time to work into it. So, if you guys have any questions, if I didn't cover something that you want to know about, leave me a question in the comments. I'll get back to you. And then I hope you guys are getting out to skate. I know we're getting into the holiday season and everything. We've got some new merch at the Murder Militia website, so check it out. We've also started carrying new skates. We're carrying lava skates now, which is kind of a new thing for me. And if you guys have any questions about skates, again, you can email me at Murder Militia. Just hit me on the website, or you can hit me here on Instagram, and I'll give you any questions that you got. As always, I hope you guys get to skate when you can, skate how you can. And, I really hope you guys have a blessed holiday season. Peace, love, and rollerblades. I'm out.